Hello.
Hi.
Are we going to sing?
Mm.
I'm going to hold my cake up to the camera.
Yes, me too.
Oh, it's my cake. Mine has a flame look and a rainbow candle.
Hi.
Ooh.
This is a birthday.
That'll be the Tism is one.
Mm.
Are you ready?
Yes. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
us.
Tism. Happy
Happy birthday
birthday
to
to
the Tism.
Tism. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
dear
That'll be the Tism.
Tism. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to Tism.
hip hip. Hey. I'm just going to blow this candle out though before I actually set on fire.
Cool.
Yay!
Yay! I don't have a candle. I can't be trusted with fire. Not
I,
me.
I probably can't either. I mean, we know that I've just lit that and then nearly set a toilet roll that's on my windowsill on fire.
Mm.
So, you know. Anyway, shall we get into it?
Yes.
That'll be the Tism.
Welcome to episode 25 of That'll Be the Tism.
I'm Emma,
And I'm Claire.
and we are a podcast about our lives as late diagnosed neurodivergent people trying our very best to adult. Ooh. So, that'll be the Tism is one.
Mm.
We made it a year.
Our podcast child
Our podcast child is one.
entering its second year of
And
randomness.
I said what? There's 21 hours, 45 minutes, and 40 seconds of That'll Be the Tism.
Yes.
Before this episode, available for your pleasure. For your pleasure.
For your pleasure.
Yes.
6 of which are spoonless episodes.
A quarter of the time. We
Many
have
more of them should have been spoonless episodes.
Definitely. But never mind. We did it.
We did.
There's been some quite interesting content. Our main section today is going to be that we just spent the last 2 hours going through the podcast to try and find the best bits, which are mostly not related to autism. But
no,
that's going to come in as the main segment.
We started off trying to relate everything that we said in the podcast to autism, didn't we? And then we quickly realised that
everything is related to autism, but it doesn't have to be blatantly related to autism.
But also, it's not just a podcast about autism, it's a podcast about our lives.
Our lives.
As
Absolutely.
autistic people. And that does tend to include, as we have found out, a large amount of animal genitals.
Yes. Our lives include a large amount of animal genitalia.
Yes.
You're welcome.
The end.
That was a really quick podcast. So, yeah, this week, as well as it being the birthday podcast, we've got some clips that we're going to share. We're going to talk about the last year and our recordings, but we also have some more additional sweepers, jingles, whatever you want to call them, as well, to sort of separate the sections out. We won't be able to use all of them today because it's a bit of a non-standard episode, but we will be using some of them. And the first one you'll be hearing momentarily because it is the start of the first section, which is the hyperfocus of the week, isn't it?
Yes. So thank you to our audio jingle man.
Audio imaging producer.
Yeah, something like that. Chris Dimitri Matron.
Yeah, so the first ever section header officially will go here.
Hyperfocus of the week.
So how have you been, Claire?
Well, we were saying, weren't we, as much as this is the hyperfocus of the week section, sometimes I don't have hyperfocus, and I think that is because, well, I know this because sometimes I'm overwhelmed and energyless. There will be hyperfocuses, like I know I've been worrying about stuff more, I've been worrying about the dog, and quite recently ChatGPT has had a lot of questions from me about various things that the dog's eaten. Maybe that is one of my hyperfocuses, because I think you've said before, a few episodes back, maybe it's something that I can control.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That was last episode. We were talking about that, actually, I think.
Yeah, so I don't know whether I told you in the last episode that ChatGPT has told me whether or not it's okay for the dog to drink coffee, whether or not it's okay for her to eat dandelions. That was one this week.
Yeah.
Various things that the dog could possibly eat. And the answer to that is a lot of things that Bernie can eat, which is lucky because she does.
Depends if she had coffee. Is that okay?
A little amount of it, because what had happened is I'd gone to answer the door or something, and I'd made myself a coffee with 20% extra caffeine in it. And I could just hear licking from the kitchen. And I'm like, oh. And usually she will drink tea. She loves tea.
Mm.
And she can have a little bit of tea. And I'm sure it's frowned upon, but she does. But she usually leaves coffee alone. But because I'd put milk in the coffee on that occasion.
Do you not normally have milk in it?
She was all about it. No, I tend to have black coffee, especially if I'm needing it for the energy. And then the next day I'd had another coffee, but that had some sort of caramel syrup or something in it. And she had some of that as well.
Nola had some of my matcha this morning. I was
Yeah.
really cross. I was
But
sad.
did you chat GPT whether or not you just thought, oh, I should be fine? Whereas I know
yeah.
I don't really want any more vet bills.
No, I mean, I reacted very quickly and quite angrily. I was sat right next to it and I was just looking that way talking to my fiance. And then all of a sudden I heard this lapping noise, but it
Yeah.
was literally there on the arm of the sofa. And I was like,
Yeah.
just sort of flung the cat off there, shouted loudly, "That's my matcha." I only get to have matcha on the days I don't take my ADHD meds. And I didn't take them today because I wasn't sure whether I'd be going back to bed. So I've had 2 matchas. And that was the first matcha and I was cross, to say the least. But yeah, I didn't worry too much because I'm sure he's fine. He only had a very small amount of it.
It just sounded like a lot because I moved as fast as I could back in from the kitchen and she's just on the coffee table in the front room, which is what she does.
Cheeky.
She's part dog, part mountain goat, just.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a hyper focus, but it is something that I've been focused on a lot is the health of the dog. But I think the reason why I'm still not 100% is because of the change and the routine and everything, which I know is going to take time. And I do feel better than I did when we last spoke about everything and more comfortable with everything. And I truly believe in life that everything happens for a reason because we look at the reasons for things and data, don't we? It's one of these things that I've just adopted that I tend to find that if I'm worrying about something, I always find that something happens and then you look back and you're like, oh, that's the reason why that happened and this other thing didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be a bit triggering saying everything happens for a reason because of the way that it sounds. But essentially, there's lessons to be learned from everything. So whatever happens, and I've written this in a few different places this week, is whatever happens in any given moment in life, if you're making a decision, it's always the right decision for you in that moment or the only decision you could have made at least. Because if you make a decision that you regret later, then you couldn't have made a different one because otherwise you would have in that moment. So there's always lessons to be learned from everything that happens in life. And there's always things that you can say because it's like the butterfly effect, isn't it? If anything tiny had changed in anyone's life, then nothing necessarily would have happened that did afterwards. And there's a lot of happy times to be had. So yeah, I think it's a valid point is that saying that everything happens for a reason is a good way to calm yourself down and to have the knowledge that when you look back, you'll be able to understand why.
I do tend to find it's not always good things that happen, but say if you don't get a job opportunity for some reason, that then means that something else will come along.
Yeah.
And I tend to find that it's something that is better for me, or not always, but that's the mindset I'm trying to adopt at the minute and
It's
just
good.
try and let things happen as they happen with my new career.
Yeah.
And
Trust in the
try
process.
and know what's not worked so far and what has worked so far. And one of the things that I'd noted that I'd missed from being employed was having people to speak to and bounce ideas off. So I was invited to come to networking with one of our mutual people.
One of our mutual people.
Yes, Sarah, who runs a networking group called Parenting Business Connections.
which is brilliant.
And when I first heard about it, was sort of the mindset of, oh, that's probably not for me because I'm not a parent. But it's people that work with parents or businesses that are parents, isn't it? So I went along to a couple of those and they've given me a lot of really good ideas to reframe what I can do and what I want to do and how to go about that. And even just the socialization aspect of things, which is weird to say because part of autism is that you can find socialization really difficult. But one of the parts of it that I've enjoyed the most is just being able to speak to people, and also the people that she's collected. I think that's a nice word to say. In the group are all really understanding and welcoming and all very like-minded.
Yeah.
It's a
There's
really
a lot
neurodivergent friendly space, isn't it?
of
So
neurodivergent people in that group, yeah.
I think if I'd have gone to a networking group, a traditional one, that was about talking about your business and what makes you stand out and that sort of thing, I would have found that really difficult. A, because I don't like talking about myself and I'm still figuring out ways to do that, but also because it would have been mostly about business, whereas that group, I think, finds a really nice balance of being both. I think you'd gone into a group, hadn't you, and you'd spoken about singing.
All sorts. I've been in that networking group for 3 years and it's one of my safe spaces. And it was really weird the first day that you came along. I went to Tesco on my way home from dropping my son at school. And as I was walking into Tesco, it just dawned on me, Claire's coming to my networking meeting today. That's weird. Isn't that weird? Because it's like two different worlds coming together. It was really nice, but it was a bit of a, oh, that's going to be, it's weird, but also exciting at the same time. But yeah, I've had some weird and wonderful conversations in those breakout rooms at networking. And it's just a place where you can turn up however you are, however you're feeling, whatever's happening in your life or in your business. And people will just be there with open arms, ready to support you or cheerlead you, or it's a really, really brilliant space for business owners who work with parents, as long as you are understanding of what parents go through and are able to work with parents and take that into account, then it's fine.
Yeah, it's something that I quickly learned was not correct about the group, the assumption that it was just for parents. It definitely isn't, and it's definitely helped me a lot the last couple of weeks.
Good.
So, unintended shout out, but if you're listening to this and you are in the UK and you're looking for a neurodivergent friendly business networking group, please look up Parenting Business Connections.
Absolutely. We'll put a link in the show notes.
We are not sponsored by Sarah.
Not sponsored by Sarah.
But she is very good. Have a little look at it, see if it's for you. You can go to a free taster session.
Not a plug,
we would not be saying this if we didn't think that it was a lovely, lovely time.
Yeah. I'm really chuffed that you've come and that you've liked it. It's been it's great.
I think it's definitely been helpful to my mindset the last couple of weeks, even just to have a bit more routine, just to have that
stability on a Wednesday morning.
Social aspect and to be able to talk through things with people that I'm struggling with.
It's not that autistic people don't like socialising, it's just that we can find social situations draining. If you're in the right space with the right people, it's something that is enjoyable, even though it can be draining. But it's important to have a social life. And
but because of the effect that being sociable has on neurodivergent people, I know specifically I might not avoid those situations. Sometimes it's just easier not to have them because you know that they're going to have an effect on your spoon levels, especially ones that are in person. But it's not. So if you really want to join,
it's on Zoom. Right.
You can wear your pyjama bottoms, as I did.
Absolutely. And you're not going to be the only one.
No, definitely not. So how have you been?
So I have been mostly working on my book still. I have been busy and it took me a while to recover after my big, huge week that we spoke about in the last podcast. The thing I'm going to talk about is Easter. because it is Easter Monday today. It was Easter Sunday yesterday. And I did an Easter safari. Oh, sorry, the Easter Bunny did an Easter safari for my son yesterday, as far as he's concerned. Not that he's going to be listening to the
I was
podcast
going
because
to say, does your son listen to the podcast?
No, he's not going to listen to the podcast. But yeah, my son likes chocolate, but he forgets it exists very quickly. He doesn't really like Easter eggs. And so previous years I've done an Easter egg hunt for him and it's been brilliant and I've loved doing it. It's like 90% for me, maybe 10% for him. I don't know, maybe 80-20, but definitely no more than that. So this year I was like, what can I do that isn't going to involve a load of chocolate wasted in our cupboard? So what I did was I ordered 12 little 3D printed fidget animals. I've got 2 of them left because I only used 10. This is a narwhal, look.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a narwhal, holding a narwhal up to the camera, but it is really tiny. And there was 12 of them in a box. And I did a little treasure hunt. Basically, Ollie the octopus brought all his friends and they hid all over the house. And then there was clues to get from one place to the next. And in the clue, it mentioned the place and the kind of animal. There was something buzzing around a yellow head in the conservatory. There was a bee in the Lego head that we have, and there was a bat flapping about in the garage, and all the water-based ones were looking for water. There was a lobster in a bowl of water in the sink. The polar bear was in the freezer. It was really fun, and everyone had a little fun fact about that animal, one of which was the lobster fact that we spoke about on the podcast that we will mention later on. But yeah, I get very obsessive about that kind of thing and I'm very perfectionist about it and I get excited and I love creating treasure hunts, and there seems to be a mix of people that are just, that's a lot of effort. It's one extreme or the other. I think people just can't find the headspace to do it. But it's one of my things. I've always loved creating treasure hunts and solving puzzles and riddles and things like that. I'm very bad at riddles, but I do like them and I find them interesting. So yeah, my thing has been creating and doing the treasure hunt. And the big find at the end was a £5 weighted cat plush. So she's Melissa. She's 2.2 kilograms in weight and she's a big huggable plush that helps with regulation, and actually she's mint. She's brilliant. I love her, and my son also loves her to bits. So that's been my thing that I've been doing. On Friday I wrote another 4 chapters of the book that's nearly finished. I keep saying every podcast the book will be finished, but
one day it will be.
It needs to go off to the publisher before the end of April to get published before the 2-year anniversary of us moving into the house, which is the 9th of May. But the book's kind of taken over my head again. We've made lots of progress with wedding things. We were sorting all the finer details out this morning for the wedding. But yeah, I'm going to let Easter be the main thing because the treasure hunt was, it was so much fun. And I'm going round and the clues were coming up and my son was thinking very literally about things, and it's kind of a lesson for me to phrase them in a way that he will understand what I mean. In my brain, when you say the coldest place in the house and you talk about an Arctic animal that's been looking for a habitat similar to where they come from, the freezer was obvious. Whereas to him, the coldest place in the house, well, that's the conservatory because it is freezing cold in there on a morning, because he was thinking of it as a room rather than just an item in a room. So I was like, well, there's ice cream in the house and that's icy. So maybe. And then he's like, he wouldn't put it in the freezer. It would get wet and frozen and then it would fall apart. And he got quite concerned. And then sure enough, the polar bear was in the freezer. But yeah, it was fun. I liked it. And there are pictures on my social media. If anyone wants to see any pictures of my Easter safari, then please do go and have a look. Yeah. So, do we want to do a
birthday rave?
A birthday rave and then a main section? Right. Are you ready for a rave?
Sure.
Okay, and... Still love the rave.
Yes.
It is brilliant.
Me too. So, the main section. The main section.
Main section. We are going to talk about all of the previous episodes of That'll Be the Tism.
Yeah, so we asked on social media, didn't we, if anybody had any highlights for us. And we want to talk through our highlights as well.
Yeah.
And we weren't quite sure how to approach it, so we have just spent
2 hours.
more time than we would like to admit, but Emma just has admitted it, on finding what Descript thinks are highlights of our podcast, alongside some that are ours.
I mean, most of them are ours, I think, aren't they? Because the Descript ones were too focused on autism and they weren't funny. We're hoping that this will be a reasonably funny main segment, I think.
Yeah, a lot of it can be related to autism, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the first one, so from the first episode.
Yes. So, yeah, the first episode we spoke about autistic communities and then somehow managed to end up talking about the Macarena, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it highlighted the Tism very well.
Very, very how things have to be just so. So we'll put that clip in here.
Yes.
Can you remember when we were in that cabaret place a few years ago and they were doing the Macarena Saturday night and I went over and kicked off, told them that they were doing...
I often think every time the Macarena comes on...
They were doing the Macarena to Wigfield.
Yes, and every time I hear Wigfield, I'm like...
No, you've got to get it right. If you're going to do something, you've got to do it right. And they were not. The lovely people of Blackpool were not doing the correct dance to the correct 90s song. And I had had some drinks to drink and was under the influence of alcohol. And so I had to just go and tell them. I was very cross. I was. But never mind.
And it's not the only occasion that you've done that either.
No, I usually correct people. I correct people at weddings.
Steps concerts.
Steps concerts. You've got to do the right moves to the right song. Otherwise, it's not right, is it?
No.
And we do like to stick by the rules to us, autistic people.
Mm.
And that's that.
So episode 2, we did not have one for. And I think that was because we just decided that we were making the rules and we didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't need to. I don't know why we didn't.
I can't remember at this
Descript
point.
it was 2 hours ago. Oh, the secret pet giraffes was in episode 2.
Yes, Ronald.
The
secret pet giraffe that we inserted into the podcast to see if your fiance was listening secretly. At that time, he wasn't, and I don't think he's listening secretly now, but he is listening under a slight duress on occasion during car journeys.
Yeah. But Ronald was a good funny moment.
And that was the Easter episode because that was called Stick on Little Legs, which was...
Stick on Little Legs.
Yeah. That was about your Easter escapades last year.
Yeah, the Easter hunt last year.
Yeah.
Episode 2. Yeah. So that was that. I do want to say at this point that we've come a long way in the last year, haven't we, on how we approach the podcast?
Yeah, I think I got a better microphone in episode 2, didn't I?
You did.
Because somebody commented on social media saying you might want to be mindful of people's sensitive hearing and that sort of thing. And my brain just went, well, I've got to buy one now then.
Yeah, and I put one in my Amazon basket and it was there for about a month. And then I bought one ready for episode 4. So if anyone does want to go back and listen to our past episodes, the first few are differing microphone quality. And then, but episode 3, the highlight of episode 3 was about cheese.
Cheese-based violence.
Cheese-based violence. We're going to put that clip in here. I just say one thing though that we're not going to do. We're not going to throw cheese at any autistic people.
No, we are not. And the person who gave us that suggestion will know.
Yeah.
That's come from him, and we're very sorry we haven't talked about the rest of your suggestions in this podcast, but perhaps in a future one, so do keep listening. No throwing cheese at autistic people, A, because that's a waste of good cheese.
It is. Cheese is important.
B, because we are an inclusive podcast and
approve of violence.
Cheese-based violence.
Cheese-based violence is not okay. No violence is okay. Cheese-based violence is not only not
Yeah.
okay, but it's also wasteful of quality cheese, or even shit cheese, to be fair. Any-
Even cheese slices.
Yeah, we're not throwing any cheese. Sorry,
Not
mate. We're not.
Sorry about it. And
Please
if that
don't
makes
hate
you
us.
unsubscribe, then
Well, so be it.
and we chose that one just because we thought it was funny, didn't we? I think the clip was already there, and it led into the name of the episode as well, which was showing cheese or autistic people.
Yeah,
It's our
throwing
first
cheese.
episode that actually included
Autism.
a word about what the podcast was supposed
There hasn't been any others. Is it our only
No,
episode that's
I
included?
think so.
I think it is,
I
isn't
think
it?
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly they have been animal related or
Oh, people.
names of people.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we go on to episode 4,
Mm.
this is my personal favourite podcast moment, I think, still. There's been some awesome moments in the podcast, but this one is mine. Do you know quokkas?
What?
The animal. A quokka.
As in a crocodile?
No, a quokka. There's an
No.
animal. There's an animal called a quokka, right? They are the cutest animals in the world, and they only exist on one island. That is Australia.
Do come from a
Yeah.
land down under.
Southwestern Australia, in just a small islands off the coast of Western Australia. Rottnest Island is the place. Quokkas are great. They're very, very cute. If you happen to be, your person in Australia, if you happen to be close to a quokka, please send us a photo of a quokka because they're very cute, Claire. They really are. They really are adorable.
But don't send us any pictures of the other animals that live in that. Like, they've got lots of scary animals, aren't they, that can kill you? I could go on a tangent now about an article that I read about all the different snakes and how they harvest the venom. And tarantulas, it's this woman's job in a zoo in Queensland. I
Sorry.
need to get this out of my brain now. It's
Okay.
this woman, I think it's Queensland, she milks spiders of their venom. When people get these spiders, they're called Sydney something or others, right? People can surrender them to her for this zoo that she works at. People leave them on her doorstep when they've caught them because they milk them to make the anti-venom for this spider, and it takes however long to make. And rabbits are immune to it, so they inject it into rabbits to make the anti-venom.
What? I mean, right. Okay.
Basically,
People used to be able to convince me of everything in the world. It didn't take much to do. And so now I fact check literally everything that people say to me. And I know, Claire, that you wouldn't make it up.
No, I definitely haven't. If it's not true, then the BBC have lied to me.
Milk.
Milking like Sydney something spiders.
Yeah, the Sydney spider venom milking.
It's her job.
Oh, well, that's very interesting, isn't it?
But it's like the deadliest place in the world is Australia.
Oh,
And they
then the
do it with
rabbits from- Yeah, you're
snakes.
right, you know. Well, there we go.
That was
Quokkas aren't venomous as far as I'm aware. And then, yeah, so now you
And
do
this-
know quokkas, Claire, don't you?
yeah, I do. And this was the point, I think, where
Everything went wrong.
we just went slightly unhinged and we never came back.
We didn't.
It was the first instance of animal fact of the week.
Yeah.
Or random animal facts.
It just happened.
And we just leaned into it.
We did. It was really a nice, organic way to just bring animals in to the podcast.
And a few more of our highlights are going to be animal related, but what we're going to do, because one of our listeners
We've had a message from a listener.
Woohoo!
suggested that anything to do with animals were highlights for them. So it was our first time really mentioning random animal facts.
It was.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. And there are a few more clips.
Good.
But this was the
The first one, and
primo
in my eyes, the best one. Still, I think.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Episode 5 was our first spoonless episode, wasn't it?
It was, yes. And although we did well, considering that we had no spoons to give, we decided that we'd save ourselves a bit of time and not look for a highlight from episode number 5.
It was a very short episode.
It was, which we noted whilst we were talking pre-recording.
Yeah.
Because originally spoonless episodes were supposed to be to give ourselves a little bit of a break, both in the recording and the editing. We have never had as shorter episode,
No,
spoonless or non-spoonless, since
episode 5. It's the only other episode that's less than 45 minutes. We go off on a lot more tangents now than what we used to. But yeah, episode 5 was, I believe that was the week I went to Alton Towers.
Yes.
I think it might have been half term because I saw it was normal seahorses, wasn't it?
The normal seahorses, yes.
Yeah, the normal seahorses. So, moving swiftly on to episode 6.
Yes.
This is the clip that we have chosen. I don't want to say the older I get, the hotter I get, because that sounds a bit weird, but could work. I'm not sure.
When it does the summary of this part of it.
Oh, the chapter titles.
Well,
on
as
our
you grow
Spotify.
older, Claire needs lots of wheeze and it gets hotter every
Not every day. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it was a heat wave, wasn't it?
It very well might have been. I've written the summary of that clip as heat and wheeze.
Yes, it works.
We did speak about clothing being an issue for autistic people, so we did link that into autism.
Oh yeah, because of the heat sensitivity.
Yeah.
And all of the sensory issues around clothing and
clothing can be annoying, different types of clothing, different seams and things like that, but obviously it provided a realization.
Something about me getting hotter as I get older.
Yeah, which is very true. 7.
Yes. 7 is, well,
let it speak for itself.
But now we've explained that.
Pseudopenises.
Yes, pseudopenises. We're going to talk today about pseudopenises because we've decided that we need some kind of interesting animal fact at the end of every podcast.
Yes, but should we caveat this with the fact that pseudopenises are nothing to do with autism?
How do you know?
Because I've not got one.
I know, but you're not one of
I was going to ask you if you have one, but that seems a bit personal for us to discuss in a...
Humans generally don't have pseudopenises, but there are 5 mammals that do. I mean, what can we say? We can't really say anything about that. I think that was the first time we started talking about genitalia on the podcast.
It was not the last.
That was the episode in which I came out as bisexual. We were trying to find clips for the episode that weren't about that because it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But Descript only wanted us to talk about that. And
I'm not laughing at you coming out as bisexual. I'm laughing at the correlation. The correlation episode and also the first episode that we spoke about penises.
Yeah. Never mind, eh? It's all fine. Everything's standard.
Everything's fine.
Everything is standard. So episode 8
was a spoonless episode.
It was a spoonless episode, but we talked about spoons and what the spoonless episodes are in a lovely way. So we've got this clip.
So it's not anything dramatic, but it's important to recognise that even just small changes to the routine that you've got in place to keep your spoons in check can cause all of the spoons to be in the dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
Yes.
I like that. I like that analogy. All of the spoons in the dishwasher.
In the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And it's on a long cycle.
Sometimes all of our spoons are in the dishwasher. Usually the reason we put our dishwasher on is because all the teaspoons are in there. That was also the episode we talked about lobsters.
It was.
The Out Here brothers. And we'll talk more about lobsters later. But if you want to know about how the Out Here brothers relate to lobsters, then go and listen to episode number 8, Tiny Furry Massage. which was actually tiny furry sausage, I think, wasn't it? When you were talking about
sausage.
burn. Yeah. Okay, so moving swiftly on to episode 9. We don't have a clip for this because 9 was Duolingo Wars, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the Duolingo Wars clip was 6.5 minutes long.
We decided not to subject anybody to that again.
But it was about competitiveness. The first time, and it's weird because we've been in the same Duolingo league a lot of times now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like after the first time, neither of us could just be bothered.
Well, like, generally what we'll do now is just send each other a screenshot and just like mutually agree a peace treaty for the week.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Duolingo took over both of our lives for that full week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you were off work, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was off
Hopefully.
for that 2 weeks.
And I wasn't. But yeah, I mean, we were both in the same Duolingo league for the first time, and we got very, very competitive. And there was part of that clip in which Claire said that it awoke something in her that she didn't even realise was there. We both got incredibly competitive. And I think the amount of times now we've been in the same Duolingo league, if we got that competitive every time, then neither of us would get anything done ever.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
But it was one of those times where we did actually illustrate a trait of autism and speak about it.
Yeah, competitiveness is we have to be the best, and Claire was the best. Claire won. Spoilers. I mean, still go and listen to it because it is amusing, I think, but it was too long for us to put in as a clip here. But yeah, the competitiveness. We also spoke about Will's. Oh, that was Payne and Jeff, wasn't it? I think that's probably one of the funniest titles.
Yes, Payne and Jeff as a title we couldn't breathe.
Jeff motto for life. Because it was pain and death, and Descript heard it as Payne and Jeff, and I'm pretty sure I cried laughing when that came up.
We spoke about how when you're overwhelmed you might feel pain differently, and how we can feel pain differently as neurodivergent people.
Yes.
Which is something that I could have done with knowing a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah. So, that was episode 9. Episode 10, we have a small clip for you.
And then the next day I went onto Facebook and there was some specific pictures of an animal called an echidna, which is an Australian like hedgehoggy thing.
Quite cute. Yeah.
And the issue is it has something which will make us need to make this podcast adults only. So all I will say is that there's a particular area of an echidna that is unusual, and it has 4 of something
This is like cryptic.
rhymes with
Heinous, kind of.
anus. Is that what you're going for?
Heinous with a H. Oh my god.
That rhymes with schmeenus.
Go with schmeenus.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to say any more than that, do we?
No, aside from that was the birth of Les Puzzles.
It was the birth of Les Puzzles. That's where we were talking about echidnas, and somehow that turned into That'll Be the Tism musical.
Yeah. More on echidnas later.
So we were talking about puggles, and it thought we said Les Puzzles.
Yes.
And so that became Les Puzzlerable, That'll Be the Tism musical. Which is a nice segue straight into the clip for episode 11, which is here. Who would you want to be you? Who would you want to play you in a musical?
Somebody says to you would play you in a biography of your life. I'm always like, nobody would make a biography of my life because it would be Jeffin' boring.
Well, if they did,
I don't know.
Would you want it to be someone who you felt similar to, or someone that you would just want to meet because you would have to meet them in the process?
Well, I was thinking Olivia Colman's just great, isn't she? Yeah. So maybe in quirky styles, Olivia Colman, but she looks nothing like me.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't go with anyone that looks like me because, I mean, the most likened I've ever been to a celebrity was Pauline Quirk at school. My friends used to
Wow.
say, I know, my friends used to say that I looked like Pauline Quirk. And I'm like, well, she's a little bit old to play me, I think. But I would go for somebody that I would want to meet because I would have to meet the person if they were playing me. Therefore, obviously, I would pick Anna Kendrick to play me.
Oh my God, that's a good choice. And then
So
if it was a musical,
then
it'd
it
be
would
set,
work as
wouldn't
well,
it?
wouldn't it? So if you're listening, I know we're not sponsored by Anna Kendrick, but if
I'd
Anna
watch a
Kendrick,
musical with Olivia Colman and Anna Kendrick in it.
I definitely would watch that. I'd be
Yeah.
all over it. That would be great. I'd love it.
There's Puzzle of Our Blaze coming to a cinema near you in 2030.
And that is all you need to know, really. I mean, really, I would love it if one day.
We're still workshopping it, aren't we? One of these
Yeah,
days, after you've finished your book and I've finished having constant meltdowns, we'll write a musical and it'll be amazing.
it will be amazing. It's one of the best
Right.
tangents I think that we've had.
Yeah. Especially considering that we like musicals as well.
do
The
really like
idea of
musicals.
having
Yeah.
that'll be the Tism musical is just peak.
I think my
Peak
life would be
times.
complete.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did actually go to see a musical in episode
Did.
12, didn't we?
We did. We went to see the Steps musical.
Yes.
And we spoke more about Les Puzzle again.
We did. We told our friend of the show about it, didn't we? One day it will be in the Manchester Palace Theatre or the Opera House or whichever one it was that we went to.
It was the Opera House to see Steps.
Was it?
Yeah. We don't have a clip for their episode 12.
No.
But there was a very entertaining lady on the bus.
There was, on the way back from the Steps musical,
yeah,
in the pouring rain, there was a woman who was just interviewing somebody at the back of the bus.
Yeah.
And that was a lovely memory for us to remember.
It was very loud.
Because she was talking about autism, wasn't she?
Well, I think the woman was saying that her son's autistic. And I can't remember any other context about it other than that.
No, I can't.
But this woman got on the bus very loudly. She was looking for a drink of water, and then she got sat next to this woman who gave her some water and was essentially interviewing about her life story. Yeah. And it was loud and intense. But that was an interesting section in episode 12 about random women on buses in Manchester after we were talking about the Steps musical. And another thing about the Steps musical was that there was a technical fault in the middle of the musical, and all three of us were like, they should just get on with it. It doesn't matter if it's stopped. They should just get on with the show and sing their songs as if nothing's going on. And it's like, say, the three autistic people sat in the audience of the Steps musical. Just get on with it. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Okay, so episode 13.
We did not have a clip for.
We didn't. It was a spoonless episode, but it was Trish.
Triskaidekaphobia, which came from triskaidekaphobia, which is fear of the number 13.
Yes, because it was episode 13. And we nearly put the clip in here that basically was Claire mentioning that and then me saying that you are editing it because I am not spelling that on the podcast. And then I think I did edit it and I did have to spell it, if I remember rightly.
Potentially, yeah, but you've definitely got your own back.
I have
from
got
the
my own
amount
back.
of various different things that I've had to change in the script.
Sorry.
More on that later.
Yeah, it tends to be me that repeats words that Descript doesn't know out of the two of us, doesn't it, really? Yeah. So, moving swiftly on from Trish, because she was spoonless, we go into Tom Katz. And this is a lovely clip from Tom Katz. To add to my search of ferret penis, you know, there was a quiz show a few years ago where they looked at the most recently searched terms on someone's search history, and it's a really good job that, you know, yeah.
Just don't commit any crimes for the foreseeable future, because if they're like, oh, Emma's committed X scary crime or something, not that you would,
I haven't.
And like your search history, well, just have a look at Inna's search history to see like if she's been Googling how to bury a dead body or something, and your search is just ferret penises.
And I think, yeah, I mean, as well as ferret penises,
My summary of that is crime and ferret.
Crime and ferrets. Yeah.
And it was about the point that we realised just how much this podcast has influenced our search histories and that we maybe needed to be a bit mindful of that.
A bit mindful.
Yeah.
Can you hear the ice cream van?
No.
That's good.
That's fortuitous, isn't it? Because the first episode of That'll
The
Be
ice
the
cream
Tism
fan.
was called An Ice Cream Fan Can Only Get Better, which was you
Getting distracted by an ice
saying,
cream
oh,
van.
an ice cream van, and me singing Things Can Only Get Better, which
Yeah. They
some
did.
would argue they have, and some would argue they haven't.
Well, in some contexts they did, in others they didn't.
Let us know at
the way of the
that'llbethetism@gmail.com, but only if you think that it's got better, otherwise we don't want to know.
The
I don't want to
podcast
know
has
about
got
that.
better.
Oh, well, it has, but
Yeah.
but if people don't think that it has, I don't want to know about it.
Okay, no, that's fair. But yeah,
Brian!
episode 14 has a really interesting segment about Viennetta and ice cream and how to eat things the right way. So if you're interested in that kind of shenanigan, go and listen to Similar to Tomcats.
Yes.
Mm.
Brian! I shall say it again.
I think, yeah, so it took us to episode 15 to explain something that we said in the first episode.
Yeah. So the other thing that we name, that we've mentioned in episode 1 and then never again, is that we call our brain, I mean, our separate brains, we don't have the same brain.
We had like one big, just suspended somewhere between Manchester and Doncaster.
Yeah.
Over the Pennines.
Sometimes, considering my processing skills, I think that's probably, like dial-up.
Yeah.
Dialing over it's just dialing over the Pennines.
Where the brain is stored. Brian lives somewhere in a shed on Woodhead with very limited phone signal. That's where he lives.
Yeah, the dial-up tone. That's what processing feels like sometimes, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that's why, because Brian is just in a shed on Woodhead.
And that's Brian. And yeah, episode 15 was cool.
What was it called?
It was called Is He Gary?
Is He Gary? Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember why it was called Is He Gary, but that was another. It was kind of a spate of names, wasn't it? We had Les, we had Trish, we had Tom, we had Gary, and then we came on to Susan and June. And yeah, we were in the middle of a spate of people's names in the podcast title at this time. And then episode 16 was, well, I mean, the clip doesn't really have anything to do with the episode. It's just a really, really great sentence.
If we're in Australia, I will look into kangaroo vaginas.
But yeah.
It was one that we heard and we thought that doesn't require any explanation whatsoever.
No.
It was also the episode that we spoke about lemurs, but again, more on lemurs shortly.
Yeah, but we had healthcare challenges, reasonable adjustments, and social justice was the trait of the week in Susan Whatnot.
Was that because of Greg Wallace?
No, that was
Donald
episode
Trump.
8.
Well, do you know what? We've had a lot of cause to be social justicey because people keep saying things about autism.
Yeah. So, 17 was a spoonless episode. However, anyway.
Hitler,
yeah. Should we talk about Hitler for a bit, Claire?
So we said before we started this episode, it was going to be, what was it, Moaning and Hitler?
Breakdowns and Hitler.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was it. That's all we need to say about 17. We watched a documentary and we talked about it on the podcast. It was the most structured spoonless episode. I mean, spoonless episodes have been a little bit more structured since that point, haven't they?
Yeah, but we were too spoonless to speak about anything in particular, but we just needed to speak about Hitler.
Yeah. Why not? Okay, so episode 18 was the Christmas episode.
Yes.
And we talked about Christmas and how draining it can be, but this was how we finished the Christmas episode.
Octopus related facts to end on, because the male octopus, it has a specific arm for mating.
Okay.
And once it's mated, its arm falls off and it dies. So that's the dad gone. And then the mum will protect all the octopus eggs. She won't eat, she won't sleep until the baby octopuses hatch. And quite often she will die before they hatch. But they have been observed in the past to do themselves in to not prolong the misery of sitting on their babies until they die of starvation.
Wow.
So, like 1 to 2 years for females as well, because their sole purpose is to bring more baby octopuses into the world, and then they die.
What a life.
So, Merry Christmas, everyone! Festive.
Very festive.
Very, very festive.
Well done,
Nothing says Christmas like octopuses.
and death. Okay, woo! Episode 19 was my favourite episode of That'll Be the Tism, and is the one that I
Yes.
recommend to people generally if they want an introduction to what we sound like. It's a very, very good episode for getting lots of reasons why it's important to acknowledge your own autism if you are wondering about autism. And yeah, Flut was a thing that I'm very proud of, and I got emotional having listened to it. I sent Claire a very emotional voice note about how awesome it was and how proud of us I am. So that's Flut, but the clip's the best part of
Yeah.
it, isn't it? Okay,
Is it? But anyway,
it's not the
so
best part of the podcast, but it's still a good clip.
it was ChatGPT. Have you used AI?
Taking ChatGPT with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was my impression of Boris Johnson. For anybody that's never heard of that, I suggest you go and look at it because
I
my
have
husband
not.
had never heard it. It was on like, I don't think you watch a lot of live telly, do you? But there's a big fat quiz of the year. It's basically things that have happened in the year, and that was one of the only things that I'd recognised that happened during the year. Boris Johnson just basically goes, I like using AI. Have you heard of AI? I use something called ChatGPT. ChatGPT. And my husband's like, surely he doesn't say it like that. And then they showed it and he does.
Seen that.
And like, ChatGPT.
I'll have to look that one up. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yes, and it was also one of my mum's favourite episodes.
Mum dropped calling. Yeah, I have a feeling that mine liked it as well. I think quite a few of
Yeah.
us people have given us good feedback actually on that episode.
It was very well received and rightly so.
Yeah. So, episode 20, and here we are. The driver's seat and the passenger seat in my car can be heated, but to me it just feels like I've wet myself when I have the heater on my chair.
My car's not that sophisticated. My husband's car was. I shall never have a warm bum again.
I mean, that's
Bloody thieves!
a bit dramatic, isn't it? But yeah,
Well, I'm sure I will have a warm bum again.
I'm sure you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got to have something to aim for, haven't they, in life?
Absolutely. The car thieves don't have complete control over the
No.
temperature of your...
And they've got no compassion for the fact that they might make my bum cold.
No, none. That should have been their main priority. What were they thinking?
So this was the episode where my husband's car had been stolen.
Yes.
And we were upset about the right things related to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Aside from that, we talked a bit about in that episode about how to communicate with autistic family and friends and advice for those people. So advice for not neurodivergent people or not autistic people on how to communicate with autistic people. Episode 21. The clip from this we are going to play right at the end of the podcast, so you can be excited to hear that. It was a spoonless episode, but there was a really, really great clip, and it is going to finish us off when we finish talking just before our new outro. Don't skip forward to it now, but you've got something to look forward to. So if you're starting to get a bit bored, it is worth sitting through the rest.
We're nearly there because we're on episode 22 now. This is episode 25, so we've not got long to go.
We haven't got long to go. And episode 22 is basically another shout out to our lovely, lovely audio imaging producer. Here you go. We did have a conversation in the chat with the Jingle Man where we asked him how to pronounce his surname, and he came back and said Jingle Man. So I think he must like that. But our Jingle Man or sound consultant or producer of music and things
Yes, we have
Chris.
one of those.
We
Oops.
do. He's called Chris. He's called Chris Dimitriou Matron.
Yes.
And that's how he said to pronounce it. And so that's why we've added the matron on the end, because he told us to.
Would it be Chris Dimitri? Ooh, matron.
Yeah.
That's how you say it, isn't it?
That would be how you would say it, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that. I know that sounds bizarre, but I don't think I can.
Well, I have.
Thank you, Claire. I am grateful. So that was when we've got our new rave and our new intro, and it makes me feel like we're a proper thing. And I know getting to a year is great. And I know when we had our Spotify Wrapped at New Year, that was like a big moment for us because it was a really good Spotify Wrapped. But I think getting to a year is a major achievement, and getting our own sweepers and jingles and stuff. And the intro has been
They were very appreciated by our mums.
Mum drop calling.
That was another one of my mum's favourites, and I think your mum's too, because it was the debut of Mum Drop Calling.
Yes. Okay. We're nearly there.
Yes.
Episode 23. We're playing our cheese highlights because cheese was mentioned how many times?
27.
27 times we mentioned cheese in episode 23, and here they are.
Old and full of cheese. One of my birthday gifts was cheese. Well, two of my birthday gifts, in fact, because my birthday gift from you was cheese. We ate lots of cheese.
But yeah, that'll be the cheese happened. We went to the cheese yard in Poynton. It was very tasty. Yeah. Yesterday, I made a sandwich that was ketchup, ham, and a cheese string. What? Like, what even? I can't even. What even is that? It's an atrocity. One of the nice things about us going for afternoon cheese last week was that we both approach it in a reasonably similar way, which is nice because I know I have been not judged, but it's been commented on how I approach a cheese board before.
Oh, I've got that cheese in the fridge.
Give us some stars on your podcast provider of choice. Comment, interact, tell us you love us, tell us you love cheese.
Cheese is... Would we say that cheese is one of our special interests?
Yes.
Yeah,
I went on my hen do to the Wensleydale Creamery, Claire. We can definitely say that cheese is one of our special interests.
We're well-known cheese aficionados, aren't we, in the cheese world?
I would say so. Cheese aficionados. Okay.
We don't need to say anything else about that, do we? Clip, you said cheese is definitely one of our special interests, and I think that perfectly illustrates the fact that that is definitely the case. And I'd love to know how many times we've mentioned cheese in all 21 hours, 45 minutes and 40 seconds of That'll Be the Tism, not including this episode.
That's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down, but I do also want to go down it at the same time.
It will be a lot more than 27 times.
It will. Yeah, I would double it. And then maybe add some. Yeah. Okay. And then the last one, we didn't do a clip because it was like 2 weeks ago, so you don't need to hear a clip from it. But how many times did I mention tonics? 38?
38 times, none of which were picked up correctly by Descript.
I'm sorry.
Hence the fact that the last episode was called Tonic Tea Cake Sauce, which was Tonic's tea cake sauce, as in a source of, I think.
Source of Tonic's tea cakes.
But there were a lot of Tonic's tea cake related options for the...
What was the one that we couldn't use?
One Tits tea cake.
One Tits tea cake. And I was on the phone to a bookkeeping client, and I just got a message pop up from Claire, and it was a screenshot of One Tits tea cake, and I had to not laugh because it would have been unprofessional. I shouldn't have been looking at my phone, and I don't usually when I'm speaking to people. But it just popped up on my computer, and I was like, wow, that's good as that. That's perfect. But it would have been inappropriate to call the podcast that, wouldn't it?
It would have been. But I just said to you, hadn't I, that I didn't think that there were many options for the title.
Yeah, and then there was 5,000.
And then there was just 38 Tonic's tea cakes, all of which I had to correct by hand. So we had that, we had Tonic Shop, Tonic Factory, Tonic... Anything that you could... possibly conceive.
Yeah.
So many tonics, none of which were tonics.
No. So yeah.
So we hope that you've enjoyed that run through.
A run through of
of-
everything. We've not talked about everything we've talked about, but hopefully it's been amusing. I would like to think it's been amusing. Let us know if it hasn't.
No,
I mean, let us know if it has as well.
just
Actually,
let us know if it has.
don't
I
let us
don't
know
want
if
to
it
know
hasn't.
if it hasn't. I don't
I'm
need
happy to believe that it's been funny. So,
any negativity. If you see that in the inbox before I do, you just read it and you just delete it because I don't want to know.
I will do that. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next segment. We're going to use the section header, even though it's not technically one. And now for this week's random factoid.
What we're going to do is give ourselves a couple of minutes just to reel off all of the different animal facts that we've learned from That'll Be the Tism. Just as a sort of summary. Not all of them.
I was going to say, because we're not going to remember all of them, but we're going to go
No.
through as many as we can remember, I think.
Yeah.
Are we going to start it at the beginning?
We could do.
Yeah. I don't think we can include geese are autistic as a fact because although we did suspect that geese were autistic after the first episode, I don't think we can include that as a fact.
We spoke about potoos.
We did speak about
And all I've
potoos.
written for potoos, which made me laugh on my notes, is potoo log scream. Because potoos, they look like a log. They are very well camouflaged.
Yeah.
And then as a defense mechanism, they open their mouths and scream. And we decided that that meant that they were autistic. We diagnosed a lot of animals.
We have. We've diagnosed a lot of animals as autistic.
Echidnas, who have we mentioned? Did we mention echidnas? Yes, we did.
We mentioned that the babies were called puggles.
But also, they detect electrical fields, which is called electroreception, and
they have 4 penises.
4 penis heads.
4 penis heads.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
Lobsters.
That's why I've got the 12 Days of Christmas in my head, isn't it? That's why we were singing that. Yeah, never mind.
Lobsters.
Lobsters wee. Lobsters communicate via wee. They have nozzles under their eyelids, or under their eyes, on their face. And they wee to fend people off and to attract mates and to communicate.
The ladies. Is it the women that wee in the men's face or the men that wee in the women's face?
I think they all just wee in everyone's faces. I think everyone wees in each other's face. It's just a massive, massive spray of all the different wees.
Stream of wee. The sea is full of lobster wee. That's a fact.
Wobster Lee. Oh, never mind.
Anyway, anglerfish.
Anglerfish.
Males are parasites.
Yeah, the males live on the side of the females and eventually just turn into a parasite and die.
Lemurs.
Yes, lemur vaginas.
Only open for 24 to 72 hours in July of a good year.
Yeah, on a good year. Just once a year. But I think the point of us talking about that was that it's getting earlier every year.
And multiple times of the year because of global warming and things. So will somebody think of the lemurs, please? And their vaginas.
Yes, somebody needs to think of them.
Yeah. How many brains do octopuses have?
9.
9.
They have.
Arm is a mating arm. A sex arm.
Sex arm.
Sex arm. Sex arm.
That's my sex arm. Yeah, anyway. Yes. Never mind. This is where we have a nervous breakdown on the podcast.
Oh no. Tom Jones should record that. If you're listening, Tom. Willow ptarmigans make a noise that says, hello.
It does in a really like a Yorkshire Northern hello.
Yeah. And I think that that's it.
I want to mention another one because I'm just looking at the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to talk about elephant testicles just for a really small moment. Because the
elephant testicles aren't small.
Elephant testicles are inside of an elephant's body.
Yeah.
Outside, which is suspected to be the reason why elephants do not get cancer. And we talked about that on the podcast. And I think that would have been a really good clip, actually. But that was the musical episode, so it doesn't really count because nothing's going to be better than that. But that was a really interesting one because the temperature of the sperm, with it being inside the body, the testicles are inside the body, so the sperm doesn't get as... It's more regulated.
Yeah.
So yeah, elephant testicles. Yeah, there's been lots. We've had lots and lots and lots of animal facts, but
Are you going to think about fruit bats later?
Well, we can talk about it now. I mean, it's one of the things I found out when I was doing my son's Easter safari, and I sent it to Claire. But I've forgotten the name of the bat. The Dayak fruit bat, that's Dayak fruit bat, is the only male mammal that regularly lactates. I mean, in a lot of species, some males lactate sometimes, but it's thought that the male Dayak fruit bat helps with breastfeeding. So it helps them share the metabolic cost of caring for their young because they can act as a wet nurse for the mums. And so both parents can breastfeed. That would have made my life so much easier when my son was born, but also would have probably been a bit weird because humans don't. Anyway,
What if your ex-husband was a bat? You
if
would
he was able to breastfeed, not if he
It
was
would
a
have
bat.
been weird if your ex-husband was a bat.
It would have been weird if my ex-husband was a bat, that's for sure.
Can I talk to you about coal tits?
Yeah, sure, because I know you want to.
I really, really do want to. So, originally this was a suggestion from my mum
Mum drop calling.
because her and my stepdad have got this coal tit that keeps trying to get in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she Googled it and it said that the reason for that is because it's territorial, because it's coming to the window because it can see its reflection and it wants to fight its reflection. So that's why it keeps flying into the
Aww.
window. So I wanted to tell you about that because it was my mum's suggestion. And so I Googled some random facts about coal tits, and I'll just leave you with these two. A group of coal tits is called a banditry of tits.
Wow, that's perfect.
And the sound of a coal tit has been compared to the sound of a bicycle pump.
Really? I need to look that sound up now. Coal as in COAL.
Coal, as in coal mining.
Yeah.
But I've just written down on my notepad banditry of tits, and then underneath sound of a bicycle pump.
It does sound like a bicycle pump. Great. Perfect. Right.
So I had to tell you that in this episode.
I am grateful.
Very sorry.
Episode 25, birthday episode. And thank you to our listener for telling us that she liked animal facts, because it has encouraged us to do that list of facts. So many of the best bits and the funniest bits as well have been the animal facts, I think.
Because
I'm
we
really
like to know
pleased.
things, and some people might say that elephant testicles have got nothing to do with autism.
Well, they're
And
wrong.
to those people, I would say you are incorrect.
And also, you're listening to the wrong podcast, mate.
They
Sorry.
might have been correct until this podcast exists.
Now there's a strong link.
Inextricably linked
Forever.
to elephant testicles forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
good.
on that note, the things that we're not sponsored by.
Oh, yes. We've listed that we're not sponsored by certain things.
So we're not sponsored by Take That.
No. Or Mr. Blobby.
Or Anna Kendrick.
No.
Or Pimmit's PK.
No. There's been lots of things that we've been not sponsored by.
Yeah.
And it would be really nice to have a longer list, but we forgot that we were going to do it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if we were sponsored by something.
It would be nice. Well, do we want to be sponsored by something, though? It seems like a lot of pressure.
Depends. If I get free cheese.
Yeah, or tonics.
Yeah.
Cheese and tonics. Or Anna Kendrick.
Email if you want to. Yeah. If you want to sponsor us, email us at that'llbethetism@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or look at our links.
I have a feeling that in one of the weeks it was not sponsored by me.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
We aren't sponsored by you. That's correct.
I mean, my whole life existence is sponsored by myself, so.
It's true, but you don't sponsor me.
I don't know. Anyway, on that note, if you have enjoyed this podcast or any of our other podcasts, please let us know by emailing us at that'llbethetism@gmail.com or rating us on your podcast provider of choice, or leaving us some feedback, or leaving us a comment, or messaging us, or anything like that. You can find all of our links and details at linktr.ee/that'llbethetism.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to leave you with the clip from episode 21, which will directly be followed by our new outro, which is exciting. And we'll be back in a fortnight.
We will.
Thank you so much for listening and for your continued support. We love you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Most of the people that I work with have a whole why am I like this thing? And that's the question. Have you ever done something, got frustrated and shouted out, why am I like this? And I still do every now and then if I'm doing something and I'm frustrated and I'm like, why am I like this? And I'm like, I know why I'm like this. We're aware. That'll be the Tism or the ADHD.
Yes, I was going to say we literally named the podcast after it.
That'll be the Tism.